Lois Lane has always been an iconic character, but in Superman the Animated Series, she becomes something more. She isn't just the reporter or the love interest. She's the heartbeat of Metropolis, and arguably the show's most compelling character. What makes Lois stand out here, though, isn't just her wit or her strength. It's how the series presents her as a vital counterpart to Superman, someone who challenges, compliments, and ultimately drives the narrative forward. It also doesn't hurt that she has a great sense of fashion. S-TAS takes a bold approach by reshaping the Lois we think we know. In a world of capes and superpowers, Lois doesn't just rely on brute force. I'm definitely thinking of the time she slapped Lex. She uses her intelligence, her fearlessness, and most importantly, her heart. As a reporter for the Daily Planet, Lois isn't just trying to expose corruption. She's seeking justice in a way that resonates with Superman's own mission. The beauty of Lois in this series is how unrelenting she is. In so many iterations of Superman, Lois is often portrayed as a damsel in distress, or at best, a secondary character to Superman's heroics. I believe a lot of people think this way because they haven't actually researched Lois Lane, because if they had, they would have seen how kick-ass she has always been. Lois is never sidelined. She's proactive, resourceful, and refuses to wait for Superman to save the day. Whether it's confronting corruption head-on or putting herself in danger to get the story, she's constantly pushing the boundaries of what's possible. What really sets her apart is her sense of purpose. Lois is driven by her own ambitions, which is part of what makes her such a strong, independent character. She doesn't need Superman to define her worth. Rather, she complements him in a way that feels like a partnership of equals. Their relationship isn't just about love, but mutual respect. Lois challenges Superman's idealism, grounding him in the reality of the world they're both trying to save. Lois finds herself questioning Superman's place in Metropolis. She challenges his alien nature, asking him if he truly understands humanity. And what's striking is that while Superman is often the moral compass of the show, it's Lois who reminds him of what it means to be human, flaws and all. She reminds us that heroism isn't about perfection, but about the will to do what's right. What's refreshing about S-TAS is how it acknowledges Lois Lane's humanity. She's not invincible. She has flaws, fears, and insecurities. Her relationship with Clark Kent, for example, isn't always perfect. She may mockingly call him Smallville, emphasizing how he isn't from the city like she is. She genuinely likes him. When Clark Kent was presumed dead in the episode The Late Mr. Kent, one of my favorites, Lois tearfully confides in Superman that she genuinely liked Clark Kent. He was a decent person, and she valued him. They didn't explicitly have a romance, but that didn't stop her from acting scorn when Clark turned up alive, recuperating with Lana Lang, his high school sweetheart. Of course, this was a ruse to explain how Clark had survived the explosion, without exposing his identity as Superman. There's a vulnerability to Lois that makes her feel real, which is why her heroism resonates so much more deeply. She isn't a perfect paragon. She's someone who fights every day to make the world a better place, even when the odds are stacked against her. I mean, come on, in Brave New Metropolis, an alternate dimension Lois Lane is killed and everything falls apart, but our Lois still ends up saving the day when she accidentally ends up falling into that dimension. You just can't keep a character like Lois down. Her strength and resilience are too powerful to be contained. I would love to read the article she wrote about that. But But perhaps the most vital aspect of Lois's character in S-TAS is how she balances her career with her identity as a reporter and her evolving relationship with Superman. Lois represents more than just a love interest or a bystander to Superman's mythos. After all, she didn't even kiss Superman until the final episode of the series. I really liked the writer's restraint there. It would have been so easy to just write Lois as Superman's girlfriend, but they were dedicated to making her a character in her own right, with her own problems, struggles, and successes. In a world where superheroes often steal the spotlight, Lois Lane's refusal to be outshone is something truly remarkable. As a reporter, Lois Lane stands unwaveringly for the people. Her pursuit of the truth is rooted in integrity, and she will always choose the ethical path to uncover the answers she seeks. This is something that I wish we had more of in the real world. Lois is a character who lives in the shadow of greatness, and rather than fade into it, she rises. This is a Lois Lane who makes Metropolis a better place, not through superpowers or brute force, but through grit, brains, and an unwavering commitment to truth. And in doing so, she becomes just as essential to Superman's world as the hero himself. In Superman the Animated Series, Lois Lane is the hero we don't always expect, but the one we truly need. She's the heart of Metropolis, and in many ways, she's the true soul of the series. And that's why, to this day, Lois remains one of the most vital, dynamic characters in the Superman mythos. I love how Lois Lane was written as a powerful, strong, and independent woman. Well, she might not have superhuman abilities like shooting laser beams from her eyes or running at the speed of light. Her intelligence, courage, and determination show that she can still make a profound difference in the world. Her strength isn't in her powers. It's in her unwavering commitment to justice and her ability to inspire change. And that is why the DCAU Lois Lane is one of my favorite heroes. And also because Dana Delaney is the best. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, ring the darn bell, YouTube stuff that feeds the algorithm. And please feel free to check out some of the other videos I've made on this channel. Or if you want to hear my husband and I talking about whatever the hell else I want to talk about, check out our podcast, Totally Shui Flipside. I'm excited to share more video essays about my favorite things with you this year. Stay tuned for more, and thanks again for all of your support. Love you. Have a good day.